Welcome back to Grumpy Vet Garage. Dash cams are gaining in popularity and for good reason. They protect you from insurance fraud schemes, also inaccurate information provided at accidents or traffic violations, but also gives you the opportunity to capture those unexpected things that you may come across driving your vehicle, whether it's something scenic or something you just don't see every day. They're a great addition to any vehicle, but in many cases when you try to add them to your car or truck, they can be very expensive or difficult to install or have a less than integrated installation. As an owner of multiple dash cams, I look for great quality, dependability, and integration into the vehicle that's so seamless you kind of forget that it's even there. FitDVR provided me their 3-channel dash cam and their power adapter to install on my wife's 2022 Kia Telluride for review. The installation of the FitDVR dash cam looks really easy from the instructions, but having the addition of the power adapter should make it just as easy, but also allow it to seamlessly integrate into the normal operation of the Kia Telluride. So let's go ahead and open up these boxes and see what's provided in the kits. So I have emptied out all the contents of the kit. This is everything you get in the kit, starting with the main camera. This is the rear-facing camera inside. That's a 1080p camera. It has a full colored screen, buttons to control on the bottom. There's also a accompanying app that you can use that will connect with this with Wi-Fi so that you can download videos, share videos on social media if you're seeing like a scenic route that you're wanting to share. Here's the forward-facing camera that is capable of 4K. If you're doing 2 channels, so if you're just using this camera and that camera, this is 4K and this is 1080p. If you're using all 3 cameras, because this is the rear camera right here, this is also a 1080p camera. So if you're using the rear, the forward, and the one for the cabin, this will record in 2K, which is still high definition. Also comes with the cable to connect the forward camera to the rear camera. A USB micro SD card reader. This unit comes pre-installed with a 64 gig SD card. So this helps you to be able to read that card in case you don't have your own card reader. It comes with one. Then you have spare static mounts. I'm probably not going to use these. This is an extra 3M mount in case you need another one. And then finally, it comes with a trim tool. You're going to need this to tuck the wire going to the rear, but it's nice that they included this if you didn't already have one. Now focusing just on the main camera, it comes with Sony Starvis technology, so low light capability. So it can actually record high quality video in low light and in some cases virtually no light. Also has a built-in G meter, so it can actually sense any kind of impact with your vehicle. And how the recording works on this camera is it does it in a loop. As it records a new clip, it will erase the old one. With the G meter, it will put whatever is being recorded during an impact, it'll put it in a protected status so it cannot be overwritten, so you won't lose any kind of accident data that may be saved on the camera. So again, 64 gig card installed, but you can run up to a 512 gigabytes, so half a terabyte memory card in this unit. Additionally, beyond just video, there's real-time data that is saved with the video using a GPS module. It can synchronize speed, acceleration, driving routes to your actual video footage to kind of give context and clarity to the recorded data. So again, you can power it using the cigarette lighter attachment, but we're not going to use this. We're going to use the power adapter, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this out so you can see what comes in this box. Okay, so now looking at everything that comes with the power adapter, this is the unit right here, and this is the actual adapter harness specifically for my vehicle, in this case a Kia Telluride. This cable right here is where it interfaces to power from the vehicle to power up this unit, and then this unit takes in 12 volts, but it's capable of outputting either 5 volts or 12 volts depending on what your unit needs. Seeing as how our unit has a USB-C, we're going to be using this connector right here. So it's USB on one side and USB-C on the other. They're nice enough to provide you another trim tool. But here are the 5-volt connections, so all USB on this side and all the various popular USB micro connections. And then these are the 12-volt connections to power various items. This one here is a pretty common one for radar detectors. A feature of this unit also has an LED screen, which at first I wasn't sure really what it was for, but it's to let you know if there's a power problem coming to the unit or if you're having power issues going to your powered unit. So it'll actually display the power available on this screen and power being used by your device. And then this is mounted using 3M tape, just like the dash cam, but we'll have to put this in a place that's pretty easy to get the connector to the dash cam. So now let's go ahead and move forward with installing the power adapter and dash cam on the 2022 Kia Telluride. Okay, first we need to come in and try to get access to power our dash cam. So what I went ahead and did was move down the mirror. Be gentle, you're trying not to rip it off of the windshield. Not likely to happen, but we need to remove this panel right here. You can do it either with your hand or with the pry tool, but it's pretty easy to come out on this particular car with just pulling it with your hand. Now we can see this connector right here. This is where we're going to get our power source for the dash cam. So on this connector, it's got a push tab. You're going to depress that tab. You press this tab right here and then lift the connector out towards the back of the car. So now you can see I've disconnected this cable. And this cable is what they call a keyed cable or a keyed connector. So there's like little tabs, so it only goes in one way into the connector. And then with the adapter, you can see that it's also keyed. Hopefully you can see it. It's kind of bright right there. But there's only one way for that connector to go into this. And then after it's plugged in, this connector will go into the original location, and that's how this unit will send power to the dash cam. Okay, so I plugged the original OE cable into the adapter, and then the adapter into the mirror so that the mirror still has the function it's supposed to have. And now we have the cable coming out that we're going to connect to the power adapter for the dash cam. So now that we have this power cable right here, we can go ahead and plug it into our power adapter. The connector for the power adapter is keyed, so it can only go one way into the other connection, but the key is very small, so be very careful that you're locating it properly and aligning it properly before you plug it in. So made the connection. Again, it shouldn't need to be forced. It's keyed, but it should slip right in. Now we can go ahead and put this panel back over our adapter. Okay, so we already put back the panel, plugged in the power adapter, went ahead and already plugged in the dash cam. We can already function test the dash cam, make sure that we have power and functionality before moving forward. So we turn on the car, not completely on, but just not an accessory, so on position. There's power to the power adapter, and there's actually power to the camera. So now that we know we have power to the camera, we can go ahead and mount the power adapter and then mount the dash cam to the windshield. So I think it's important to go ahead and mount where you're going to put the camera before mounting the power adapter, just because the short length of cord to the camera from the power adapter. So underneath the rear view mirror, that spot of glass right in the middle is where I'm going to mount the dash cam. And then the plastic, this flat section behind the rear view mirror, that's where I'm going to mount the power adapter. I went ahead and used rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, to clean off those two areas, just to make sure there's nothing that's going to prevent the 3M tape from sticking. Okay, so I have the dash cam in place, power adapter's mounted, dash cam's mounted, and if you were only going to be running the front and then the interior cabin cam, you would be done. You would go through the setting and the setup, and you could run this cam. I've only been really working on this for maybe 20 minutes. So it is easy and very quick if you're doing just this setting of the camera. But now we're going to go ahead and work on running the long cable all the way to the back and mounting the rear facing camera. So the rear cam input is plugged in right next to the power input, and then I ran the cable up to get to the headliner. Now using your trim tool, you can tuck in this cord going across to get to this side over here. Now we just need to work the cable all the way to the back of the Telluride. I can't tell you exactly the best way to do it. You just need to tuck it around, get through this A-pillar area. On this particular vehicle, you can grab the weather stripping and you can pull it down, and then you can get access to the inside of the headliner this way going back. I'm going to work it all the way to the back, and if I have anything significant to tell you, I'll come back in the video and give you that tip. But you need to run it all the way back, and you need to make sure you're running the cable and the camera inside the vehicle. You can't mount this camera outside of the vehicle. Okay, so I've made it all the way to the back, going down the edge, pulling back the weather stripping, and then coming back here. The key thing to making that happen was a small section of coat hanger. I cut that, and then I used electrical tape. Really, any kind of tape would work, but electrical tape is pretty durable to tape the connector to the coat hanger. So, and I've gotten all the way back to here. You can see I lifted up the boot. They just popped down, and we're going to have the wire come through that boot and then get underneath this panel, which I removed that, and there's five clips there that the supplied trim tool can help you remove. But yeah, now I just need to run the wire through this boot to get over here, and then I'm thinking somewhere in this area would be a good spot to mount that camera. So the wiring came through the boot. I went ahead and put the boots back. They just pop back in place, and now we come out this area of the hatch. We have some excess cable that we're going to need to take care of, probably tie up in a bundle, probably zip tie it somewhere else. But coming down to the rear camera, you can see, hopefully you can see that connector, and there's a small keyway by my finger here. And then on the connector, it's really hard to see the keyway, but they are keyed. They can only go together one way. You don't want to force it, but find those keyways and go ahead and plug in your rear facing camera. Okay, so I've left enough room to put the panel back on, but I went ahead and adhered this in the middle, but attached it to the glass, and then using zip ties. Zip ties are going to be your friend with a lot of stuff, but this wire is now attached, very similar to how a factory wire would be attached. Now we just need to go ahead and put that panel back on, and then we can align our individual camera lenses. Okay, so that is the rear camera installed and the panel's back on. So with the use of the FitDVR power adapter, installing this dash cam is relatively easy. The addition of the rear camera adds a little more complexity to the install, but overall it's still a very easy system to install. If we were installing this in a coupe or a sedan that didn't require to go through a boot to get into the hatch, it would even be easier. I was able to install the front unit in about 20 minutes, and then running the rear camera took about another 20 minutes to install. Additionally, the on-screen menu for setup is very easy. There's very little that you actually need to adjust. You really just need to do language and date format. With it having the GPS and the G-meter, it tracks all kinds of different data, but also self-updates time. So a time change, it knows where you're at. The optional downloadable app allows you to connect to the camera via Wi-Fi, but you just as easily could just use the supplied card reader to pull data straight off the SD card from the dash cam. If you have any questions about the install of this unit, leave a comment. If I can help, I'd be more than happy to do so. Now let's go ahead and look at video that I captured using the FitDVR dash cam. As you can see, the dash cam provides excellent video quality, making this dash cam and power adapter combination a great value for any person wanting to put a dash cam in their car or truck. And on the value side, I think I can't really stress this enough. The features that come with this dash cam kind of make you feel like Oprah. You get a dash cam, you get a dash cam. The price of this dash cam and the features it provides would normally be 3 times as much as this one. So you could outfit multiple vehicles, a vehicle for yourself, a vehicle for your spouse, a vehicle for your child, for the same price it would normally cost to just put a dash cam in one vehicle. Links to both the dash cam and the power adapter are in the video description. I highly recommend you check it out. So I want to know, is this a dash cam that you would be interested in your vehicle? Do you already have products from FitDVR? Let me know in the comments. But if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to Grumpy Vet Garage, liking this video, sharing this video. To support the channel, we have a Grumpy Vet Garage merch store. Link to that store is in the video description. Additionally, we have affiliate marketing links in the video description. Using those links to make any purchase directly supports the channel. I'd also like to thank everybody that's been using those links. It's really helped out the channel. If you want to contact me, you can do so through the comment section of this video or on Facebook or Instagram. Link is in the video description. But as always, thanks for coming and seeing me in my garage. And until next time, have a good one.